minute we start pointing the other direction, we lose control of where we're going, right? Do you guys know what I mean by that?
Yes.
As soon as we start thinking of the way that we make things happen, we think differently. We take control of where we're going. So the reason I wanted to share this is we can share it. There's no magic pill. The awesome thing is so many times like agents or other people I've worked with always say like, well, that person must have done something different, right? What did that person say to get so many listings, right? We're looking for the easy way out many times when it really comes down to the same things that everyone else does. They just learn to do it better over time. And a lot of that comes down to ourselves, how willing we are to continue to learn, to continue to push through like those difficult days and get the results that we want. So right now I'd like to share kind of through this process another way to look at this as we're going through the 30 days to get to 10 listings. And again, the reason I'm spending so much time on this is it's so important that we take the right approach to this, because if we leave here and things are the same and we pick up maybe one or two things that we can change, that's great, but this is a monumental effort that needs to happen, right, to get to 10 listings. So the first thing I want to share is this is, there's 4 levels of learning or of competence or building a skill set that I'm going to share with you right now. So first off is, let's see, no way I spelled everything correctly here. Did I spell that right?
Almost.
I didn't.
Very
Did I miss an S?
Yes.
Miss an S.
After the end.
Okay. How's that? Is that good?
You didn't miss the S. We just couldn't see it.
Okay.
Also, if you
Thanks,
don't
Sharon.
want to spell it correctly, you just have to
Thanks.
scribble instead of...
Okay, let's just take, this says unconscious. Let's just take the attention off of the spelling there. Unconscious incompetence. So what this can be, let's use an example of learning to drive or even getting into the industry. We get into the industry, we say, I've got my business cards, I've got a web page, boom, let's make it happen. Real estate is going to happen for me. Things look good. The same with learning to drive. I want to get my license. I'm going to learn to drive. I think it's pretty easy. I see my parents driving me everywhere. It looks like they aren't really doing a whole lot. So things should be easy going forward. This could also be worded as, you don't know. How's this for grammar? You don't know. What are some things we might tell ourselves in real estate, in this industry, about getting where we want to go, or things that we may be telling ourselves, much like the person that's thinking it's easy to learn to drive or getting into real estate? I have a web page, I put out a couple of Facebook ads, I have my license, things are going to happen, but what are some things we tell ourselves in the beginning that we wish we knew when we started?
How to run a business.
It is, it's running a business, right? It's not a hobby, right? Anything else?
The skills can be learned. It's just have the proactive approach to building competence. Right?
Exactly. So the second step to learning is we come to a realization. So it's, let's see. Oh man, conscious. That's a tough word today. So what step is this, do you think? Like, I'm getting into business, or all of a sudden I go through training with my parents, my nervous parent who's always yelling and backseat driving with me. Do things start to look a little bit harder? Right? This is the uncomfort stage. This is the stage that most people stay on, and they either say, like, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to lower my standards, I don't need 10 listings, 5 is good, 4 is good. this is the hardest place to get past. Do you guys see that? Not other than conscious, the way I spelled this here. But it's a what?
It's a signature.
Okay, thanks. But again, this is the place that most people stop short on. And they say, you know what, it's either not worth it, this is too hard, I'm never going to drive, I can't even parallel park, how am I going to pass the exam, things like that.
That's where we let fear and doubt creep in.
Exactly.
It's because you know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So, good point. And then, does anyone want to tell me what this is?
You did it twice.
I did. Zoom.
It's conscious
Oh.
confidence.
No, it's, thank you. Just so you guys know, I've been in your chair where you're like, how can you misspell that so many times? Or how can you write the wrong word? Just wait. Just wait till you're up here. You get it, Jeremy. Okay, so conscious competence. Anyone want to tell me what that means coming after this? We realize what we don't know. One of the hardest stages to get past. We have fear, self-doubt, everything creeping in. Anyone want to take a stab at this? Yeah.
It's like you know what you should do, but you have to think about it too much still.
Exactly. Yeah, you're conscious of it. You have to think about, say I'm going through, you talked about role playing this morning, Jeremy. Let's say when I record the role play, I start to hear the things that perhaps I'm not doing when I'm role playing a listing presentation or listening to myself over the phone or whatever that might be. And then we begin to have the script, we begin to work through that, but we still have to focus on it quite a bit during the call. This can be a little bit tough sometimes because obviously we want to go back to old habits, whatever it is that we were doing before, because we're having to do something new. We're having to be very aware of it. And then when we get to a high skill set, is unconscious competence. So that's when things come naturally to us. When you don't even know what you don't even remember an entire conversation, but you've been so good at listening to needs and finding out others' needs and presenting the way that they want to work with you, that's when you win 7, 8, 9 of your listing appointments, right? So it's important. The reason I share this is our goal this month. In 10 listings in 30 days, to take us from perhaps the things that we aren't even aware of that we're doing or not doing that are impeding us to get those 10 listings, to bring us down to an unconscious competence where we practice it repetitively enough and take an inventory on what we're doing, knowing our numbers, and we can see ourselves getting there to 10 listings. That's our goal for you guys this month. The prizes, don't get me wrong, they're great. We're going to roll those out here and everything, but we're going to work with you throughout this month to build this skill set. It's going to be through role playing, through other things. Again, there's not a magic pill, there's not a magic formula to it. It's literally putting in the work and getting better at it through experience over time. And it's also not allowing ourselves to get stuck on number 2 when it comes to self-doubt, fear, putting priorities on other things, even though we know what's most important to get to the 10 listings. Does anyone want to comment on any of this, or anyone have anything they want to add? Yeah.
So I think number 4 is interesting, the unconscious competence. Is that kind of like, when you're, the way I always look at this is the idea of, well, what's 2 plus 2, right? It's almost unconscious competence that you'd be like, 4, and I heard my kids, did I say that wrong, Jason? Did you just hear my mouth?
6.
So, but I heard one of my son's baseball coaches, baseball's kind of a complicated sport sometimes. When should you throw the ball to second? Or when should you do, and then all this stuff going on. The coach was trying to teach them about unconscious competence by saying, as naturally as it is for you, if I say 2 plus 2, that you're going to say 4, I want it to become that natural that you know when to throw the ball to which base, or when should you throw it to the cutoff guy, or when should you steal, and all of that stuff. And I think that's kind of the same point that you're getting at, right? That the communication skills, the questions we're asking, the objection handlers, all that stuff. The better we become at that, it's almost we're that good, but we're unconscious of how good we are.
Yeah,
Fair
thank
enough.
you. No, there's so many metaphors and examples that we can use. When it comes back to the driving thing, it's a great example. Let's say backing out of the driveway when I'm learning to drive. Of course, I learn a little bit from my parents or whomever that might be to back out, and I'm on like extreme alert mode, right? Like I am looking at every single angle, making corrections along the way, and then eventually I get to the point, like I was in a rush this morning or yesterday, and you're literally coming out like literally on a skid almost. So and you don't even have to think about it, right? So again, I want to state that there's absolutely no way to get to this point without putting in the work. Just like, I mean, if one thing I've shared in the past is, I mean, I'm a skinny guy. If I wanted to bench so much or do something great or like muscle, there's so many metaphors when it comes to muscles and working out, but if I wanted to squat so much, in the beginning, it's going to take huge change. It's going to take I'm going to have to do more than anyone else to build myself up to that point. Once I get there, it becomes a lot easier, and I don't have to go to the gym for 7 hours a day for 5 days a week and eat 1 million calories a day. I don't have to do that as often. But in the beginning, again, I really want to pull us in and realize that if this is something you really want, if this is something that absolutely needs to happen, if you have a decided heart and mind that it's going to happen, it's going to take maximum effort right now. Okay? Okay, so thanks for adding that, Jeremy. And if anyone wants to cut in on anything, please feel free during this as well. So in ending here, what I'm going to do is, let's see, there are 3 things that absolutely need to start today. To reach 10 listings on limited time. Eventually I'll get to spelling unconscious without even having to think about it, in my example. So, okay, 2 things. 1, we need to divide marketing from prospecting. Prospecting is when you have someone directly in front of you that can be a potential buyer or seller right now. Marketing is when we're waiting for people to come to us. It's when I have my lure, my carrot that I dangle out there and I'm waiting for someone to come to me, right? Marketing is, social media advertising, Facebook ads. It's putting your name out there. You guys know this. Basically anything to pull people and have someone come to you. It's much easier to do that from our fear standpoint or self-doubt, right? Like, I did this, I'm going to wait for people to come to me. If we're going to get to 10 listings, and if we look at those that have done it on a big level, like throughout history that have gotten 10 plus listings per month, prospecting is key. Prospecting is when you go to that individual, go to those people to pull customers, clients out of that group. So within prospecting, let's see. So there's 3 focuses. Within building this, there's 3 focuses this month. I'm backtracking just a little bit. Need to prospect, perfect our presentation, build relationships. You could say that this is basically making sure that any member of your SOI, it's just out of question that they're going to go elsewhere for someone to use them. We need to reach out to each of those individuals, and that pulls listings right now. Okay, and then let's see. As far as okay, and as far as what we're doing here going forward, okay, we're at 9:25. So I want to break down the numbers. When we're starting in the beginning, when it comes to prospecting, generally, and you guys tell me if things have been different for you when you start out in the business, but as a beginner or novice, it can take, I would say 35 to 45, we're going to say 40 contacts. This pen is getting to get one appointment. And how long does it take you guys to get to 40 contacts? How many hours?
2 to 3.
Yep. Now from one appointment, generally as a beginner, that's 4 listings for every 10 appointments. Again, this is in a seller's market when they can't have multiple people making presentations on that side. If you're ahead of the game on this, starting out in the industry, that's great. Again, keep in mind that some people bring in higher skill sets depending on their experience and some people don't. But generally speaking, as a beginner or a novice, it can be 4 listings for every 10 appointments. Okay? So that breaks down to, let's see, breaks down to about 25 appointments if we want to get, I'm rounding up, 10 listings. What do you guys think about that? Is that fairly right on, or have you guys had better success?
It's like 1 appointment a day, basically. What?
Yeah. Are we seeing the time that needs to be put into this? I know for the rule of thumb, we're told 2 hours perhaps per day. But if we don't have that many listings right now, if we just don't have that many clients, let's say I have buyers that I've been showing homes to for 2 to 3 months now, what is that telling me? So it means that my priority right now needs to be on building more listing appointments. As we get more experienced, generally, it can be, I would say, 20 to 25 contacts. So I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to say 25 contacts per 1 listing appointment. For those that have been in the game a while, what do you guys think about this? Aaron, you've been doing it a while. How's it for you?
This is, for me, this is completely inaccurate.
So what is it for you?
I'm in Premier Mike Ferry, and my stats are completely different.
So they're better?
So they're worse.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine aren't as good as that either.
So
Really?
this week in June, it took me
Mine are
80
worse than that, too.
contacts to hit 1 appointment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's someone on the
And I'm trying
phone.
to push to be going on, my stat to go on appointments to take in is 50%.
Okay. Thanks for backing up, guys. I appreciate it. So, and for you to get, how many appointments or how many contacts are you averaging per hour?
I'm on the high side, but typically between 10 and 13, so that should probably be 40 contacts. If you're doing just listed, it could take 2 to 3 hours, but when you're on the phone with expireds and for sale by owners, it'll probably be closer to 3 to 4.
Okay. Do you feel that, again, this is an open forum for everyone, do you feel that that skill set is there, that you're able to pull as many? Or from an efficiency standpoint,
So-
let's say 1 to 10, where would you grade yourself
So
right
to
now?
give you an example, last month I talked to 300, I had like 320 contacts, went on 4 qualified appointments and took 1 listing,
Mhm.
which is not good. I should have taken 2 listings, but that's my stats from just June.
And that's from 300 contacts?
300 contacts, yeah.
Okay.
Just over.
Okay. So, okay. I have more questions for you, which we will go through. Yeah.
Now, on this, the 40 contacts to 1 appointment, are you talking about, because we're all taught to pre-qualify people out too. So is that coming into this?
Yeah. At least for
So-
my team coming into this in the past, but yeah.
That's where I think the equation's off, is because your 10 would probably be accurate, the appointments, but then you qualify 50% out, and then there's a further, then you take 50%
Mhm.
of your qualified.
Okay.
So you're basically, for me, the number's off just by stuff, basically.
So let's do this. I'm going to roll out here in interest of time, so I don't keep you guys too long. We're going to be rolling out a script workshop. I know there's already one done by Rick in the morning, early morning, I believe 7 or 7:30?
7:30.
7:30, and then at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be rolling out when we're doing that. What we're going to do in this other script class is we're going to attack one script for the week, whether it's expireds, FISBOs, whatever that might be. And from day 1, we're going to work towards building our skill set on day 5. And then we're going to move to another script. We are also going to meet once per week, which again I'm going to tell you about here in a minute, where we're going to reevaluate what we're doing and what our numbers are. The fact that you guys know your numbers is extremely important, right? Also, so when it comes to the experience, let's say those that are doing it at a very high level, have you heard of those getting 25 contacts to 1 listing appointment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then from there, tell me what you think about this, but for 7 appointments, 7 listings for 10 appointments, winning 70%.
That's definitely the goal.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a great goal. Yeah, they've said 6 to 7, and I know that markets do fluctuate depending on what market we're in, but currently those that are doing it at a high level are doing it there. What we can see is the better we get in building our skill set through our own work that we put in, prospecting and reevaluating what we're doing as we meet and building our skill set, role playing, we can get to this point and it doesn't take nearly as much time, right, to pull that business. Okay, so rolling out as far as times that we're going to be meeting. On this Thursday at 1:30, every Thursday at 1:30 is our door knock day. Again, you can door knock every single day if you want, but at 1:30 we're going to meeting. We're going to role play for 15 minutes, our presentation at the doors. Everyone goes out, and then we come back at 3:30 to share ahas and things that worked for us and perhaps things that didn't. So that's this Thursday at 1:30 we meet up here, okay? And then daily we're doing a script workshop in addition to what Rick has going. If you can go to all 3, more power to you. But we're going to be doing that at, let's see, 11:30. If things do change, 11:30 is what I have right now. I know on Monday we have a coaching call at 11, right? Then we have base camp, but we're going to have to work around that as we go. So 11:30 daily we're going to be meeting for script workshop, and that's up here. Each of these will take, depending on the group that we have, the way I like to do script workshops are we pair up 2 individuals. In the beginning we have 2 that do it out loud in front of everyone. We do scripts with our partner, share things that we like or don't like afterwards, and then build up from there. I've seen in doing it in the past that's a very fast way to build our skill set. I also highly recommend that you get a partner through this, that you work through them and what your numbers are in the 30 days. So if you're having issues with things, you can reach out to me at any time. But again, like have a partner, even an accountability partner to help hold your feet to the fire. There is going to be a point where there's a rub where you're going to say like, man, prospecting this many hours per day, I don't know if I'm getting where I need to go. Self-doubt creeps in. Aaron, talked about the fear of like reaching out to people. But I really like what George shared in one of our not a morning Ascent, it was one of the morning calls, podcasts, but he said that first call is the most difficult one, right? The first door we hit is the most difficult one. After that, it becomes a game. As an example, I'm going to pass this around first. I'd like you guys to take one and put this in a visible place if this is something you're really committing to doing. I don't know some of you right now if you're saying like, man, 10 listings this month, numbers having to add up to get to 10 listings, I just don't know. I don't know if it's possible. There's 2 sides to it. 1, we have to commit, but then 2, we have to be open to trying new things this month and just putting fear out the window. And whatever's happened in the past, it's in the past. But this is new day, new you. This is who you are. This becomes your identity to pull multiple listings per month. So I'm going to send this around. Feel free to take one. And then if you want to hand it in after that, I need to know if I'm committing to this. I'm going to keep working through this solution to make sure that people get 10 listings if you're willing to commit yourselves. So, and then lastly, as an example, I'm just going to quickly share, like, success does not follow, and I've said this to a few people already. This is one of the most important things I've ever learned in my life, in business and anything, is that success does not follow individuals. It's so easy for us when we get to and try and give our own explanations or justify it, when someone's up there on panels that's accomplished so much, like that person must have done something different. Or success followed that individual because they got lucky or whatever it is. Success follows activity, guys. It follows what you're doing each and every day. If you're doing mediocre activity or good activity, you're going to get mediocre results or good results. If you do great activity, you're going to get great results. That's so important to me, and I hope you guys take that in intrinsically, and it just puts so many other things to the side once we understand that, and you can see that success that comes to you. But, so again, we're going to be meeting again, starting tomorrow at 11:30. We're going to meet for our script class here. It's going to take 20 minutes. Generally, it's 15 to 20 minutes. We get through it and we go. And then on Thursday at 1:30, we meet to discuss door knocking, prospecting. And then every single Monday at 9 o'clock, we're meeting here to reevaluate where we're at and where our standings are. I have another sign-up sheet here. Actually, did it already go around? Great. Yeah, we'll do that. So if you put your email on there, we'll make sure that we send out to you upcoming trainings that we're also putting in place that aren't happening on the daily or weekly. We'll also have a number sheet for you to be able to load numbers, how things are going, so we can track where we are. And then we'll likely set up a group Facebook page. So we as a group, this isn't so much just a prize that you're going for. I want this to be more of almost a task force that we're working together in a think tank to make sure we get to the 10 listings a month and celebrate each other's successes and share what we've done to get there. Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay. So that's everything, guys. Please feel free to ask me questions. Jeremy, Jason, afterwards.
The point system.
Yeah, what's the
Sorry, so we're gonna. We got to 9:30. So any listing that you take is going to be 3 points. Any listing appointment you take is going to be 1 point. Simple.
So do we get it?
Listing appointment attended. Yeah.
Are you going to send this out in an email to us, or?
Yeah. So there's going to be a system to track what
Don't
you've
Sean
done.
memorize it now. This is your last chance.
Okay, so if you take a listing, you get 3 points. If you go on a listing appointment, it's 1 point. Okay,
So you go on and take it, it's 4.
It's 4 points.
Could I even suggest we change our language? If you take a listing, it's 3 points.
When?
How about every listing you take is 3 points?
Excellent.
Every appointment, listing appointment attended is 1 point.
I like it. Thanks,
That's a
Jim.
little bit more like, yes, it's being done. It's happening.
When?
It's not an if, it's a
Yes.
being done.
Tomorrow on your listing appointment, it counts for this much. Even better. Okay.
And what's the prizes with the points? I'm here for the prizes.
So, yeah, Rick is out of town right now. We are doing an iPad for the individual that pulls the most points. We have gift cards that we're going to be awarding week to week. So please make sure you consistently put your numbers in to our tracker.
Where's that tracker going to be?
It's going to be emailed out to you.
Oh, that's
It's Google Drive.
Yeah. It's going to be a shared doc. Okay?
Is it like a whiteboard?
iPad or
It's like a hollow whiteboard.
What's that?
Most points.
Did I say iPod?
iPad or iPod?
iPad.
iPad.
Yeah, did I say iPod?
No.
Okay.
My
Oh,
hearing.
okay. All right. That unconscious thing like totally threw me off, the spelling.
Okay,
But
and then what about for the week of the Mike Ferry Summit?
so we are, obviously there are going to be meetings here at Everest. We have quite a few meetings throughout the week. Something can even come up that we're not planning for right now. So we're going to play it by ear, and of course with your email we're going to make sure that we announce what's happening if a class has to be moved or what's going on there. Okay.
So this goes till July 31st.
On there I put August 1st, I believe.
Read?
Yeah. So that's me playing out.
I thought you were spelling it incorrect, so.
Oh, right. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, guys, I'm incredibly excited for this. Again, I know I've emphasized it a couple times, but putting this down, I've done this with other commitments that I've done in the past. Put it in a visible place. Read it every single day. And I highly recommend, we haven't had time to do this, but 10 listing is a great idea. It's a great thing to think about, but I really want you to quantify what 10 listings means. What does that mean for your career going forward? Those that have reached millionaire status, they lose it all, and I'm telling you, 90% of the time they get back there. Those that make 6 figures can lose it, and 90% of the time they get back there. This changes standards going forward. I hope you guys see that, and unlocks a lot of things going forward. So I'm vested in your guys' success. It's extremely important to me. I hope you guys know that. So let me know what I can do as your accountability partner going forward to make this happen. Okay?
Sweet.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.